What went wrong with AEW Fight Forever? Let's take a deep dive into this game and uncover every aspect that missed the mark. Hopes were high, especially with promises that this would recapture the magic of the legendary No Mercy. However, as we will explore in detail, this game falls disappointingly short in several crucial areas. Let's break it down piece by piece. Kicking things off with entrances, a cornerstone of the wrestling experience. Unfortunately, in AEW Fight Forever, they seem rushed and lack the grandeur we've come to expect from wrestling video games. When the developers hinted at a No Mercy vibe, I doubt anyone imagined entrance feeling like a mere formality. These are the moments that are supposed to build excitement, showcase the character, and immerse us in the atmosphere of a live event. It's a missed opportunity that leaves us wanting more and questioning the overall commitment to delivering an authentic wrestling experience. What's particularly disheartening about this is that one of the biggest criticisms that No Mercy had was its short, unfinished entrances. You would have expected AEW Fight Forever to learn from this rather than repeating the very same mistake. The entrance sequence is a golden opportunity to set the stage, to make each wrestler feel larger than life, and to create a memorable spectacle for the players. Now let's draw a comparison with the WWE 2K series. In the 2K series, entrances are regarded as one of the best aspects of the entire game. On next-gen consoles especially, these look absolutely amazing and lifelike. The attention to detail is astonishing, capturing the essence of each superstar's persona and making the player feel like they're part of the event. Fight Forever also features a number of different arenas to play in, and I think having more elaborate entrances could have been a game changer. This would have been a chance to showcase the uniqueness of each venue or creativity of the community through create an arena mode. Unfortunately, the potential here remains unfulfilled. The lack of emphasis on entrances is not just a missed opportunity for excitement, but also a failure to utilize a feature that could have further showcased the variety and creativity within the game. Now let's delve into the Creation Suite, a feature that often defines the longevity of wrestling games. Here, AEW falls short, especially when compared to the golden standards set by No Mercy. The limitations here are glaring, hindering players' ability to craft the wrestlers and arenas of their dreams. No Mercy's Creation Suite, even years later, stands as a testament to what's possible in this genre. But what's even more baffling is the missed opportunity AEW had to learn from the success of its competitors. Let's take, for example, again, the WWE 2K series, where a vibrant community creations feature exists. In the WWE 2K community, there's a thriving scene of modders and creators who continually contribute to this game, keeping it fresh and enticing players to keep coming back for more. This community-driven content ecosystem is a smart move that essentially delegates substantial parts of the game's updates to the fans, maintaining its vitality without requiring constant developer intervention. AEW Fight Forever could have benefited immensely from adopting a similar approach by empowering its community to shape and enhance the game. There's no two ways around it. The absence of a community creations feature in Fight Forever is a major letdown. It stifles the potential for a dynamic and evolving player-driven experience that could have elevated the game beyond its initial offerings. What makes this lack of innovation even more puzzling is the fact that No Mercy, a game almost 25 years old, offered a much more comprehensive creation suite than what we have in this game. It's shocking to witness what appears to be a deliberate step backwards in this regard. I can't help but wonder if this intentional regression is a strategy to drive players towards purchasing the overpriced DLC characters, as the absence of a robust community creations feature forces players to rely solely on what the developers provide. In the end, this is just a huge missed opportunity that not only affects the player experience but also hampers the potential for AEW Fight Forever to cultivate a dedicated and creative community around the game. Let's hope that future updates will address this shortcoming and unlock the game's full potential. Moving on to the shop, a concept that on paper seemed like a fantastic way to keep players engaged over the long term. However, in practice, it falls short of its potential. Acquiring in-game currency to buy everything doesn't take very long, and the lack of regular or any updates to the shop loses its charm pretty quickly. This could have been a dynamic feature that encouraged consistent play, offering new skins, items, or content to entice players to keep coming back. Unfortunately, it feels like a half-hearted attempt to capitalize on the longevity of the game. Add into the frustration the items unlocked from the shop, while theoretically providing customization options, they become somewhat redundant. The underwhelming creation suite, as discussed in the previous section, limits any usefulness these items might have. It's akin to having a toolbox of great tools but being handed a broken project to work on. In contrast, let's take a stroll down memory lane to the much-loved SmackDown Mall from the past. This was a vibrant hub filled with possibilities, offering not only a wide array of items but a connection to the overall game experience. AEW Fight Forever shop, in attempting to recreate that sense of engagement falls short. It lacks the depth and meaningful integration needed to make the acquisition of items a truly rewarding and worthwhile pursuit of your time. In essence, the shop, rather than being a captivating and evolving part of the gaming experience, feels more like a missed opportunity to create a dynamic hub reminiscent of those that succeeded in wrestling games of the past. Now, let's discuss the elephant in the room, the DLC. It's not merely about the price, it's also about the Season 2 pass debacle. Those who invested extra on day one for the Elite Edition found themselves excluded from the additional Season 2 DLC. This runs contrary to the expectation that the highest tier edition of the game should encompass all future content. It's a betrayal of trust for those early supporters and sets a concerning precedent for the developer-player relationship. Adding fuel to that fire, the cost of the DLC raises eyebrows. Each DLC pack contains only 2 wrestlers at a price point much higher than what we see in the rival WWE 2K series. In comparison, WWE 2K offers about 5 to 6 wrestlers in each DLC pack, providing players with more content for their money. This stark difference in value becomes even more glaring when we consider that AEW Fight Forever DLC doesn't just lag in quantity, but also in quality. The communication around the DLC is another sore point. The handling of information about when the DLC would be available was, to put it lightly, extremely poor. Many players found themselves in the dark, unaware of when they could access the DLC that they had already paid for. A clear roadmap would have gone a long way to managing expectations and preventing players from feeling shortchanged. It's a very basic communication strategy that seems to have been overlooked, leaving the player base both frustrated and uninformed. Now let's talk specifically about the Season 2 DLC, which has sparked outrage among players. Not only does it feel like a step down in terms of what is included compared to Season 1, but the expectation that it would have been included for people who bought the Premium Elite Edition at launch adds insult to injury. It's more than just disappointment, it feels like a cash grab, offering overpriced DLC and shortchanging customers while many issues and concerns raised by the fans remain unaddressed. In the end, it's disheartening to witness a game that had so much potential succumb to such questionable practices. The DLC, instead of enhancing the player experience, has become a source of frustration and discontent, highlighting a significant disconnect between the developers and the community they aim to serve. Moving on in the realm of paid features, Beat the Elite. Charging extra for what essentially boils down to 10 exhibition matches in a row feels outrageous. The value proposition here doesn't align with player expectations, particularly when those features should be part of the core experience already. It's an unfortunate example of monetization strategies overshadowing the player experience, leaving us further questioning the decisions made by the developers. Let's talk about the minigames next. A promising concept that unfortunately falters in execution. These bite-sized experiences should have added a layer of fun and variety to the game, but they ended up feeling like an afterthought. The potential for engaging, enjoyable diversions is there, yet the implementation lacks the polish and depth needed to make them stand out. It's just another instance of this game where the potential isn't fully realized, leaving players wondering what could have been. In comparison to other great party games like Mario Party or Jackbox, AEW Fight Forever's minigames fall short. While I will say it's a nice novelty to engage with the minigames featuring the AEW characters, the overall experience lacks the compelling and engaging nature found in the other party games I mentioned. The fun factor takes a hit, especially when playing against the AI, and the realization sets in that these minigames might be better enjoyed with friends. However, the challenge then lies in the niche nature of wrestling as a hobby. Convincing your non-wrestling friends to join can be a tough sell, limiting the potential for these minigames to become the social, entertaining experiences they could have been. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice attempt at something different, but it just falls flat, and feels like AEW Fight Forever somewhat misunderstood the assignment. While the concept is there, the execution leaves much to be desired, and the game misses the mark in delivering a minigame experience that will stand out in the realm of party gaming. Let's now discuss one of the free updates, Stadium Stampede. While the addition of the Battle Royale mode was a welcome surprise, it feels somewhat out of place in a game that isn't fundamentally designed as a Battle Royale experience. It's a fun distraction, sure, allowing you to play as your favourite AEW wrestler in a new setting. However, when we compare this to dedicated Battle Royale games like Fortnite, the question arises, why not just play a game that specialises in and excels in this particular game mode? It's certainly one of the most unique modes to ever be included in a wrestling video game, but unfortunately even that was not enough to save AEW Fight Forever. Now let's chat about Road to Elite, the narrative-driven mode where you take a wrestler through the story. While this mode attempts to offer a deeper experience, it falls short in several crucial areas. The lack of voiceovers is a noticeable omission, detracting from the immersive storytelling that we've come to expect. Additionally, the choices players make sometimes seem to have no tangible impact on the unfolding story. The repetitive nature of the restaurant scenes further dampens the potential for a captivating narrative, leaving us wanting more depth and variety in this integral part of the game. Despite its aspirations, Road to Elite is surprisingly short, lasting only 1 to 2 hours. Or maybe 3 hours if you play all the optional matches on Dark as well. This significantly impacts the overall experience, leaving players like they've barely scratched the surface of the narrative potential. What's more, the mode lacks replayability. Although there are a few story variations available, they're not really substantial enough to warrant multiple playthroughs, and the limited options make the mode feel repetitive very quickly. It's unfortunate that a mode designed to provide a deeper and more engaging wrestling experience falls short not only in its execution but also in its overall duration and replay value. Road to Elite leaves us yearning for a far more expansive and dynamic storytelling approach that would have added a much needed layer of richness to the game. In conclusion, AEW Fight Forever had the potential to be something truly exceptional, especially with a rich legacy that it aimed to uphold. Unfortunately, whether it's the entrances, the creation suite, DLC, or minigames, the game consistently falls short. Here's hoping that future updates and improvements address these issues. But for now, these shortcomings leave a notable dent in the overall experience. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the intricacies of AEW Fight Forever. Share your thoughts with me in the comments below, and I'll catch you again next time.